My assignment is on the edit of Infernal Affairs 1. So Infernal Affairs 1 is a riveting action thriller that masterfully crafts tension and suspense, ensuring viewers remain on the edge of their seats, eager to discover what unfolds next. The film employs continuous editing, a technique that streamlines the narrative into a clear chronological sequence, making it effortlessly comprehensible for the audience. It features 3 to 4 pivotal scenes, distinguished by the use of the match-on action cards, which combined with minimal non-diegetic music or sometimes complete silence, sharpens the focus on the dialogue. This deliberate choice heightens the sense of immediacy, pulling the audience into the present moment and away from any dreamlike sequences that might accelerate the pace. Such an approach demands the viewer's full attention as the stakes are incredibly high. A small misstep could result in a fatal outcome, especially given the protagonist's precarious position as a police spy embedded within a formidable drug organization. The first scene uses the eyeline trace card. Eric Sang knows that he has a police spy in his organization, looks towards Tony Leung and sees his arm in a cast, suspecting he has a transponder hidden. As an audience, we do not know where Tony has hidden it, but we are 99% sure it's in there. The next shot is Eric's very intense gaze towards him, and then Tony's fearful look back at Eric. The 180-degree rule is maintained here to match the eyeline. It is getting silent now, and some suspense music is starting to play to make the tension even more intense. Eric looks momentarily away to his other tasks, but he cannot let go of that thought in his mind and smashes the cards against the table when Tony approaches him. It uses the eyeline match card again as the scene goes back to Eric looking down at the table at the broken cast, looking for the transponder. Another key point is the switch in rhythm. It is slowed down as each scene is held for a few more seconds to let the audience feel the heat of Eric's stare and Tony Leung's look of agony and fear. In some scenes, it can be sped up to create a tension. The next scene, trying to get away as fast as possible. So this next scene uses more speed. Each shot lasts very few seconds before cutting. It matches what Tony Leung and Anthony Wong are trying to do, trying to get away from the building as fast as possible. The tension here is that the audience is with them, hoping they make their escape. But can they? It is different from the previous scene where the pacing or rhythm is slowed to increase the tension. First, they try to escape via the stairs. Footsteps are heard. Then they reverse and back to the lifts. Mostly match on action card is used here, and the next card matches the space they are in and also the actions of the actors. Next, they try the lifts. Next scene is an eyeline match card to the number pads, where the viewer can see the numbers are increasing and time is running out. Next, a cross card to the thugs in the lift coming up to get them. Audience is nervous now. Can Anthony and Tony escape? They are trapped. So this last key scene comes when Tony Leung holds Andy Lau as hostage. He has the evidence that Andy is the bad cop and wants his identity back. Another bad cop is pointing the revolver at Tony Leung, thus Andy becomes a shield. Good cops are below the building and all Tony needs to do is hand Andy over to them. The lift door opens and there is a gunshot heard, and the scene uses a fade to black transition. Who is the shooter in the lift and who got shot? The suspense is held for a few more moments before revealing the scene of Andy Lau turning around in black and white scene, looking down at something, and then the close-up shot to the other bad cop with the side of the gun barrel. We know now that Andy Lau did not get shot, and there is an instant replay in the same angle to show the other bad cop shooting Tony in the head. The black and white scene is actually from Tony's viewpoint, looking at the bad cops. He is dying and takes one last look at the injustice. The scene is now switched to show Tony Leung falling into the lift cart with his eyes looking at the assailants. This scene is important. The protagonist here is none other than Tony Leung. The whole thriller, the audience is with Tony Leung, and now the director is letting the audience be in Tony Leung's shoe to feel the wrongdoings from his viewpoint. Also, the director's tribute to Tony's character. The suspense was shocking and tied to the very solemn song that was cut back to Tony's lifeless body. The audience can feel the grief and injustice. Andy comes to a realization. The man that shot Tony is not a cop. A flashback to young Andy's initiation ceremony at the temple with the other boys in black and white. As he remembers, the other bad cop was at the ceremony too, and there were few of them. This movie also repeats the use of the dissolve transition, fade transition, to speed up the storyline and to progress to the next scene. At the temple, Eric's character dissolved to Edison's character, then to Edison in police uniform marching in the cadet school using a fade to white transition. The drums from the temple transits to the beat of the marching boots of the policemen have a similar rhythm, thus act as a sound bridge to tie the two different scenes. Interesting to note that the drums are evolved into a tune that serves as an outcut for the next scene. We understand the progression of Eric sending his gangster to infiltrate the police school and that some time has passed. Another use of the fade to white transition is when Sean Yue grows up to be Tony Leung. The fade to white is disguised as the camera flashes used during the mugshot of the offenders. As an audience, we understand that many years have passed and the older Tony Leung is still getting caught by the police. The handover of Edison Chen's character to Andy Lau uses a different cut. The motion is matched on the salute. After that, it uses a fade to black transition to the movie title and the next scene to progress the storyline. Cross-cutting is heavily used in many parts to track the progression of the protagonist and antagonist at the same time. We know it is roughly the same time as they can meet in the scene, but not knowing the identity of the other party. Scenes of Sean having the interview, cross-cutting to Edison undergoing training like marching, shooting, shows the two main characters were in the school at the same time, but doing different things, and their life paths are going to be totally opposite. The drums that evolve into this upbeat tune can be heard as non-diegetic sound all throughout the scene of police inspectors making a bet and Edison's training sequence. This technique blends the different location into one seamless and consistent narrative. Actually, this technique is reduced in many parts, as I'll point out later. Cross-cutting is also used after their roles are swapped. Sean can be seen taking part in gang activities like beating up other thugs and getting arrested, while Edison himself is making arrests and getting a promotion. Cross-cutting is used to show the contrast in their lives. There is also an upbeat track playing to tie the scenes together. This upbeat track is used to prepare for and contrast the more serious and tense scenes when they try to uncover each other's identity. The final reason why Infernal Affairs 1 is so captivating is about Tony Leung's brilliance and the edit that highlights it. Tony Leung's one expression tells you the whole story. No need for any dialogue or to show any actions from him. As such, he gets special treatment in the edit. For example, more flair, more style. One example is in the audio shop, where there is a revealing shot to his very shocked face to tell us how good the audio cables are. Andy Lau did not get such a treatment. Also, in the last scene, where it showed the part where Tony Leung got expelled from cadet school, it's a shot of him turning around, revealing his face, giving a relief look, where it has more style versus Andy Lau's static shot showing his regret. Hope you have enjoyed my breakdown of Infernal Affairs 1. Thank you.